Hello, everyone. This is the News World. It's another Wednesday out here in Baltimore. Thank you for coming live and streaming with me. It is my 7 o'clock show. So today, my topic is as if remain if you've been coming in with me, student engagement after membership. This week, I wanted to talk about emancipation. The reason why I wanted to talk about emancipation because I just was thinking about DC Emancipation Day coming up that is on April the 16th. I also wanted to bring that up and as well as Juneteenth. The reason why I wanted to bring that up because I was just thinking about that. Hey, that topic is important. And I wanted to say why I believe that topic is important because I think right now our young people should understand what that means. And if they haven't believed that a lot of our politicians, our delegates, our senators, our community leaders are doing enough, then they can push that a little further to say, hey, um, these things happen over here. Does Baltimore have that kind of day, or has Baltimore already been emancipated? I think about that topic because I think about when children are emancipated from their parents and push that further um, to say what does it really mean. I also wanted to think about how it's applied. So when I go to Emancipation Day. I try to be careful where I find things to make sure that when I bring these topics up, it's just not from the regular old Wikipedia. I don't want to just use that topic. So today I'm going to read it from exactly, I think it's an educator's topic. I think I'll just go right here where it's the Emancipation Day is about Juneteenth. And this is you all, I'm looking it up on just www.history.com news. And what is Juneteenth? So Juneteenth is commemorates an effective end of slavery in the United States. And when was this day marked? Is when the day when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people are free. Remember, I talked about how soldiers had went out into war, came back and returned. And when I was speaking about women's right and the suffrage part of where soldiers came back and thinking about what it is they wanted, what they needed to do, and the suffrage wanted women's rights and women voting, but black men didn't have their voting rights, so those kind of things. So I'm bringing this up because DC is about to have that Emancipation Day on April the 16th. I wanted to talk about the emancipation because it just say Emancipation Day. Don't say Emancipation and Proclamation as it states when we're talking about Juneteenth. So the emancipation of the Juneteenth and what that was over in Galveston, Texas. The more so I wanted to talk about the celebration of the emancipation in California. I just want to make sure that I get it right when I'm bringing these things up. So I'll talk about Juneteenth and talk about Juneteenth, the holiday that's in the United States. So Juneteenth is actually on the 19th of this year, June 19th, 2023. I'm not going to talk about how Wikipedia labels it, but I'm going to go over and talk about the Emancipation Day for DC. DC is the District of Columbia. And when, let me make sure I get it right before I say that it should be their 100th and something day. So DC have been celebrating the Emancipation Day, and Mayor Merrill Bowser is going to be celebrating Emancipation Parade on on Saturday, this Saturday, April the 15th. The parade will begin at 2 p.m. in Pennsylvania Avenue. I just think I wanted to talk about this because I want to say that is huge for them. And to be able to have this Emancipation Day, to get out there and to understand the works of what is happening in DC. So this event that Mayor Muriel Bowser is having, it's going to have a concert featuring local and national artists. And what they say is going to have this firework display. So what is that and why is it important? What is it and why is it important? I believe it's important because it's tied in with enslaved people. I believe it's a way to understand what is the government doing and what it has done to not allow the people to have their freedom and separation from certain entities and anything that limit people, everyday normal citizens, from having let's talk about wage and hours. Let's talk about the pay. Let's talk about living wages. Let's talk about hunger and food insecurity. Let's talk about health care. Let's talk about education. If we say those things and who benefit from what it is that everyone need, and if it's equally balanced or imbalanced, I bring that up because it does matter. So DC, I said talked about the parade that's going to happen on the 15th, and they're going to be having it 2 days of a celebration. The 2 day celebration. Remember, the parade it says at 2, but it's a panel discussion that they're having April the 16th, 6:30 p.m. And it's talking about the panel discussion on the struggle for DC statehood. I will go into a whole lot of that probably next time, talking about what the statehood is about and why it mattered and what this means for them to have that. But I'll talk about is a celebration of President Lincoln's DC Compensated Emancipation Act, which freed approximately 3,000 African Americans in 1862 during the Civil War. More than 150 years ago, residents in DC are still not afforded the same rights as their fellow citizens in other states. During this Emancipation Day celebration, it states that they will lift up the struggle of DC statehood as a human rights and racial justice issue. Will bring DC leaders leading this fight for a panel discussion. So if you want to find out more information about that, you got to go over to the Women's League, and that's ny.lwb.org, District Columbia, National Capital Area, and that's about DC events if you want to learn more about those events. felt that it was important to bring that up because you got the District of Columbia and you have Washington. When you bring those two together, it's Washington, D.C. Let me make sure I be able to get this right because I want to make sure that what I'm about to say is correct. Um, I want to make sure that I know the capital right offhand. I remember we used to learn all this stuff in school, but then when it happens, it's just like, okay, do I really need to learn that? But we really should be learning that the capital. Well, they talking about that capital. I'm not talking about that. I wanted to know exactly. Hmm. I'm sorry, y'all. I am over here thinking about the statehood. Was talking about the Washington D.C. Statehood. Um, it's does say it's the nation's capital, um, and it's Washington is the nickname for the nation capital. The statehood is Washington D.C. It isn't a state or a city; it's a federal district that was formed in 1790. It talks about the population. The capital of Washington, D.C. is a capital of the United States of America. There it says that there are no cities within Washington, D.C. Hmm. There are no cities within Washington, D.C. I was this old today to learn exactly what that states. Wow. All right. So let's go to my topic. My topic about student engagement after membership. Speaking about the importance of students learning about emancipation is very important. Speaking about Washington, D.C. and their capital and learning what statehood is and what that means. How do you keep students engaged after membership? What DC is going to be celebrating on the 15th and the 16th. Thank you. Is going to be really important because they're going to give all the breakdowns that I just spoke about. Let's talk about here in Baltimore. What is going on here in Baltimore? What is we doing? What are children doing? What happened with their spring break? What I was downtown you all last week, and I was downtown skating when all the breakout that the children had came together and was gathering together downtown Baltimore, and they say that it was um, they were holding up traffic or whatever, or they was fighting. What I seen um, was a lot of children down there. Um, the children that I seen down there look like teenagers. I won't say that I seen any parents with them. I would just say I seen a lot of them. I didn't see any fights while they were downtown Baltimore. I did see two girls that looked like they may have been fighting or fussing, whatever the issue may have been with them. And they were saying, let me call my father. I didn't see the police harassing them. I didn't see the police stopping them from anything to do. I just seen the police watching their behavior, moving from them walking from up to where the bigger crowd was down there. What is happening with our young people? I would say they are just being young people. I will not sit here and say that I was not one of those young people who was hanging down who was hanging down the harbor. We hung down the harbor when we were teenagers if Easter was happening, but we also will go to an event that someone was having and like a Easter party. To I won't be able to say that I know that these children is this and they that. They're just they're children. They're hanging out large groups, cliquish or coming just down there just to start trouble. I don't know. I can't say. Downtown Harbor has always been a hangout for young people. It just has. It doesn't matter if they're spending their money or not in any of those places. Why it's an attraction? Why is they hanging out down there? It's just what young people has always done. I won't say that I have not ever seen that many people clicked up together. I would say that if it's those people, those children that's clicked up together and they're hanging down there, give them something to do while they're down there in the harbor. Um, Center court, if that's going to be center court, and that's going to be for those young people to hang out there, have something for them to do when they come down there. Um, if they are just coming from one place to another and their parents are allowing them, why are they allowing them to go down there? I was down there. I had children with me. They were down there skating. When we finished skating, we left. They ate, they hung out, they had ice cream. We were downtown hanging out. We went over to Rass Park. What is over Rass Park? Adults, children, a skate park. Families was down there. No fighting was down there when we were down there. We went from Hopkins Plaza. We went to Rass Park. Wherever those children was hanging out, and if they were on Lombard Street, Pratt Street, where they were at, and they just was hanging out, what what was the meaning of that? I don't know. I'm not going to bash these young people. I'm not going to say anything bad about these young people. Whatever it is they want, whatever it is that they're demanding, if you want to put a curfew on the Mayor Brandon Scott, put the curfew on them. But then what? Then what? If violence is up in our Baltimore city, if gun violence is up in our Baltimore city, if shootings is happening in our Baltimore city, everybody is not doing this that are young. These things are happening, and you've got to get to the source of the problem. What is it that these young people want? We have youth panels. You have what youth you want to select to be on those panels and talk. You have the trauma bill, the trauma law now in Baltimore. You have these issues that come up. What children are you talking to? Only the ones that you feel like that's coming to you, and those are ones that you that's not making a lot of noise, or do you want to talk to the ones that will have a whole lot to say and say what it is they really and truly want? It all depends. You got to think about that. What are young people doing? What are you giving? It ties right back into my students' engagement after membership. What is it that students want? What are they doing? Youth works is coming up. Youth break applications is up and it's going to be closing soon. So, do those children want jobs? Who is getting the jobs? Who is being selected for these jobs? Do they know how to fill out the application, you all? Let's talk about youth voice application really quick. Because I know I had a time with filling this application out with my daughter, meaning that when she went to the interview, that part that she thought that she had to complete is what she believed was the way that she supposedly filled out the application. So it is an link on YouthWorks. But right now I'm looking it up. It just says something about the applications is closed, you all. It says youth application is closed as of April the 7th. Youth application period was from January 3rd to April the 7th. I hope, okay, that the students were able to, those who want youth work jobs was able to get them. What needed to happen with them is that they seek for employment, they see who has an employment, They fill out the application. They put the employer name on it. The work sites application period was from January 3rd through April 14th, 2023. I can't tell you what that means because I do not work for Youth Works. I'm just citing the information. The Youth Works Summer Jobs Program runs from July 10th through August 11th, 2023. I know that was a step-by-step process with these applications, meaning that you had to upload documentation with your application. So they would have had to go on to Youth Works, log in, create an account for every document parents had to sign. So I'm telling you that now. Yes, parents or guardian had to sign. If your youth was not able to complete their application, it will say incomplete. You don't know that it says incomplete. They will send your youth email. And either email will tell them that this document is missing, or this document is incomplete, or this document doesn't have any signature. The pay part about it is either the youth had to fill out an application for a card so they can get paid, or they had to have a bank account. So if their documents weren't completed, if they didn't completely sign, and they did need a work permit, and it required the child's signature, the parent signature, and then everything go over to the employer. So these things were happening if these youth wasn't doing that. Let's talk about youth who's entrepreneurs, and so that's on the financial end, right? I want to bring up this company who is doing the work. Jubilee Arts help students, help youth in their community with entrepreneurship and arts. They help them get there and start their businesses and t-shirts and designing whatever that looks like for them. And I'll bring up Jubilee Arts. I'm just saying this because I'm not saying that's what the children are asking. I'm not saying that. I'm bringing it up because I'm seeing that these things are out here if children want to do them. I'm not sure where everyone is. The thing about it is that you got children in Baltimore City who's educated and some may be undereducated. What is it they want? What is it they want? Who had this conversation with them? Did they just want to be heard? And after they heard, you know how we are as adults. You got to be accountable and stand for those children when they're asking for something. You got to show up. You got to show up. They ask you for something, you got to show up. That is student engagement at the membership. What it is they asking for? What are they requiring? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want? That's a question to ask. So I'll talk about Jubilee Arts in Baltimore City. It's over on Pennsylvania Avenue. I know myself, I like to take the classes for sewing. I have learned how to sew my garments and making zip bags, pillows, but those stitch patterns and that I learned, I can take it to wherever it is I want to go. The youth in business. And this is the part that I was talking about for youth over at Jubilee Arts. It's youth in business. You register for a class. You find out about youth in business. They talk about how the mosaic, a dress sign that they have, that students worked on that. They have those mosaic signs. They have youth engaged. They have graphic design. I'm just saying these things are out here. I'm not saying everything is for everybody, but I'm just talking about the entrepreneurship part about this. The Youth in Business is a program at Jubilee Arts that called to raise the entrepreneurial leadership skills of high school age youth by providing hands-on experience operating an art-based business through the Youth in Business Design Collective. Youth learn how to run a successful business as a team, selling high-quality art products, achieving corporate financial sustainability for youth business owners. Youth are supported in leadership development within the program, in addition to career and higher education planning support to provide youth long-term economical economic independence. That is student engagement after membership. If they're breaking it down to you point by point, what else? I'm not saying every youth can get over there. I'm not saying that this is where you have to go. Because the amount of teens that I see, the amount of children that I've seen down the harbor, I don't know their age. I'm not going to say because they were big, they were grown ups. I'm not going to say that because everybody weren't the same size. Everybody weren't the same height. There were females, there were males down at the end of the harbor that day during spring break. What were they doing on spring break? What could they have done on spring break? What were they putting energy into? We hung out. I hung out down in the harbor during my spring break. Let's talk about more of this youth and business. It says youth will learn, earn, grow, and receive. What does that mean? Students will learn business skills, ceramics, graphic design, screen printing, earn money from products and money stipends, grow as a leader, receive college and career mentorship. So that is offering some things. When is this happening? It says that fall program is virtual. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays evening. That's online. How cool is that? I mean, if you want to be online, but then it's over on the west side of Baltimore. The number is 443-865-9911. This is the number I'm reading from off their website. It's for the email is yib@jubileeartsbaltimore.org. So just to bring that up to just talk about the youth and things that are out here. I'm not saying that is everything we're tied up. I'm just stating that it is programs out here that children can get involved into. Well, what is it they want? I'll talk about another program that I learned about, and I just thought it was really good to learn about these students and these students that will learn an entrepreneurship along the way. I'm gonna say this. When I was young and wanted to start a business, I used to always ask my mother to buy me a thing of brown gel, so I can finger wave somebody's head for $5. Put a ponytail, and if I learned how to put a ponytail in neat, and it didn't have any cracks in them, just getting it neat, and just I can do a neat ponytail. I can do your ponytail for $5. If I can do one thing, I can't do 5 finger waves, but I can do 1 finger wave. Or I can do 2 finger wave. I learned how to do that, or I can do the wiggly sideburns. I can do that. If I can put those 3 things together and create a whole hairstyle, that's $5. You don't have to bring no gel. I got my own gel. That 1 finger gel that my mother used to buy me. If I could go through that 1 finger gel on 3 to 5 people and do their hair, how much money is that for me? That's $15 to $20 on a $3 finger gel that my mom used to buy me, right? So when my mom didn't have that money, if she allowed me to go to the store, and I had to buy the gel myself. But then also, if I could it was then they started by having a brown gel that was a cheap gel for the soft hair and a thick gel. So if all the brown gel that was a thick gel that was Ampro gel was sold out, I would get the cheaper gel. But I couldn't do everybody hair with the cheaper gel, because remember what I just said, it was for people who are thinner, fine hair. That means that if I used that thinner gel on somebody's hair, it wouldn't work out. But if I didn't have enough, we water it down or try to mix it, because I needed to make that $15 or $20 more. That's how I started making my own money. And I'm just thinking about what is it that others have. Just because we see our youth, don't mean they have everything. Don't mean that they ain't dealing with hunger issues either. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it is ways and things out here for them to be able to do something in construction, something that is constructional for them to do. But what is it? Can't say they can't have fun. You can't keep on putting these curfews on them. You want to keep them in the house, and then you want them to be around the neighborhood, but you got to figure out they do want other things to do. You have to get to the bottom of it and ask them what. I talk about youth and council. I talk about youth and council and student government. I want to talk about youth and council because I just thought about these children who have closing ceremonies that coming out, and that if us adults are in a school, and these children who want to have events or want to have a senior or junior day, who pick out their school trip? The adults are coming together and saying that these children gonna go here, or are the students coming together and say they want to go here? Think about it. Student council. So I'll talk about youth council. What does a youth council does? A youth council, many elected official and both. Uh, uh, so it says it's 8 successful. I'm just going right here to youth.gov, you all. 8 successful youth engagement approaches. Youth council, many are elected in both governmental and non-governmental organizations across the country have created youth council. Formal bodies made up of youth who advise decision makers on matters pertaining to young people. Recruiting and retraining young leaders. Think about it. Youth governance. Support young people in leading an organization and encourage them to develop ethics and nurture healthy adolescents. Talking about the youth, y'all. You serving on boards. Consider establish a youth position on your organization governing board and ensure it is fulfilled regularly. Talking about the youth, y'all. Youth voice. And I'm gonna stay here for 1 second. It is a very important component for youth to be able to have a voice. It's important. Why? As I was a young person, I had a voice to say. Each time we're going to listen to our parents, we're trying to be our own independent person. Each time our parents mold us, hold us, stop us, they're trying to guide us, prevent us from getting hurt, harmed, or in danger. They know what life is like their young self. They knew what they wanted, and they knew what they wanted best for us. I think about how parents see how rich and smart and intelligent we are with just our knowledge as young people. If young people don't have a voice and you don't give them an opportunity to express, you don't get the opportunity to use what it is they're saying, where are they going? What are they going to do? How's it going to come out? Think about it. It's an important component for youth to have a voice. It's an important component for youth to be engaged in creating opportunities. Have to create them opportunities. They have the opportunity for young people to express themselves, express their ideas, and provide input for projects or programs. Maybe that's just what they want. They want some programs. They want some projects. Downtown Inner Harbor. There are other places for them to hang out. For some reason, we're attracted to Inner Harbor. Maybe we're attracted to the Inner Harbor because our ancestors, our people, was sold down at the Inner Harbor on slave blocks. They were down there, being shipped from one point to the next, Eastern Shore, Chesapeake Bay. Not even thinking Savannah Park. Think about it. That inner harbor has so much going on with our black people. Runaway slaves. You don't know how many bodies are down there just from the slave block, just from shipping from one point to another. Why isn't it an attraction? You tell me. Because things down there, it used to be one of the places to go. It became a tourist attraction, but for who? Young people have a voice. They have a say. See what they want. Continue to talk about not just the violence. Just think about what it is they want. Not saying that all young people are stuck in criminalizing. I'm not saying they're stuck in crime. I'm not saying they're all stuck in drugs and they don't have a voice because they want to be a criminal. How are they expressing themselves? Are they being separated to be able to hear what the input is? We don't have to be have to have war on young people and young people having war against themselves. It just don't have to be like that. I'll finish this up with saying you have a voice to say, and the youth voice, it is critical for youth to actually be heard. This is not me saying this. This is on youth.gov. Youth.gov. Youth have to be able to set a counsel for themselves. They have to be heard. Their topics are important. And I'm not saying that everything makes sense. What I'm saying is they need another way to lead and be able to guide. If you don't allow them to input and have their money on the table and have their say to what is being poured into them, then they can't be heard because you won't actually hear them because it's too loud. Our voices are too loud. Our voices are too loud that they can't be able to express. Youth leadership programs is another one. Youth advocacy is very important. Youth service, youth organizing. Engage youth to develop and implement a program or initiative that brings together their peers for a cause related to adolescent and youth and young adult health. I don't know youth everywhere, not all around the city of Baltimore. I don't know youth everywhere in my community. I just know that I was a young person too, and I never forget that I was a young person. No, I don't serve on no council. No, I don't serve in politics. No, I don't. But I do know it's important for youth to have a say. Advocate for them. They are out here. They are in education sector. When they leave from educational sector, where are they going in the professional world? Where are they going? I was out in the community today, and might I say, I met some women out in the community, and I'm so happy to meet those women. When I speak about the services and the work and how collaborating together is very important, that when I hear somebody speak like I speak, I would think that someone press record and repeat it and utter those words that I spoke. But it's very important for the work that we do when you hear that spark to bring together. When you hear people talking about the things that they want to do, the things that they're trying to change, we got to make it a reference to connect and collaborate together in order for some of those things to change. Remember, I told you all about the comedy show that was going to be held at Towson at the Towson American Legion Hall, and it was Sanford and Son stage play. If you miss that day for the show that started at 3 and one that was at 7, they had one in between at 5:30 p.m. The show ran consistently from one show to the next. It was very good and it was very funny. So if you did not make it, we can give you another chance to come to another show in May, 5 p.m. for that stage play of Sanford and Son. The producers of the show is Howard Gaskins, Ricky Shackelford, and the director is Sheila Gaskins. The show tickets are $30. I hope I can get some of the cast on this platform to be able to talk about some of the things that they were doing as cast members and how did they feel being on the stage. Everyone is not always so comfortable because you never know what's going to happen if it's your first time on stage. Anything can happen. Backstage is very important. It's where all the hard work is. Front stage is showtime. It's when you're on that stage, is everything that you practice, everything that you learn, and that you put into from backstage. April the 23rd, fashion show coming up, and this is for the student engagement of Morgan State University with Richard Lewis Agency and Morgan State University collab of students getting together to put on this fashion show for Morgan Week. I tell you, go over to Ticketmaster of USC to buy your tickets at $20. If you want to be in VIP, your tickets are $13. You do not want to miss what these students have in store. You do not want to miss that. I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about this show that's coming up. So therefore, I can give you some information of where you can go to get your tickets. It's just, I love fashion. We all wear garments, but we always want to see what's out there, what is going to be the hottest wear or what to wear. So these tickets is it's going to be for the summer Renaissance. It's going to be for the Renaissance. That is the name of the show. So Richard Lewis Agency is collaborating with Morgan State Cab for a fashion show. The features are ABC Model, MSU, Fashion at MSU, a New York Story, an Urban Culture, Kush Model Scent, Kush Model Scent, SENT, Models of Distinction, Sunday, April 23rd, MSU, Morgan State Center Ballrooms. The doors will open at 6:30 p.m. Showtime is at 7. VIP tickets is $30. Admission tickets is $20. Tickets are now on sale at Ticketmaster and the USC box office. Again, my topic was student engagement after membership. When I tell you it's going to talk to everything, it will. Thank you for joining me, and forgive me for the loud background. I am out in the community. You have a great day. See you next time.